got ஒரு 100 people இருப்பாடா.
இல்ல சார், நான் அது ஸ்கிரீன் வேற ஸ்கிரீன் செக் பண்ணிடுறேன் சார். நான் இந்த ஸ்கிரீன்ல இருந்தா பார்க்க முடியாது.
ஓகே ஓகே then is okay. Okay, no problem. வரவா கேட்க போறோம் அவ்வளவுதான். Shall I start?
Yes sir. Good evening all.
Good evening. Good evening to all of you. I am Narasimhan, representing NS Associates, and so we are the people who are delivering lectures on safety and risk analysis and environment and so on. So I'm a chemical engineer basically. I have represented my company, Occupational International Limited, for 36 years. I specialized in ammonia and fertilizer, and then utilities. I was lost. I was in ammonia terminal for about 10 years. I was in charge of the plant and retired as senior executive. And so on, so to say, safety was a passion for me that I took this subject after my retirement. So I joined ROM Safety Consultants for about 10 years. இப்போ இது வருது ஸ்ரீராம் குவாலிட்டி அதெல்லாம் நீங்க போடுறடா. ஹலோ ஹலோ ஓகே ஓகே ஹலோ
Yes sir.
இது உங்களோட வருது எம்பளம் வருதான் நினைக்கிறேன். ஓ இது பவர் பாயிண்ட் போடுறாடா.
PPT ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணேன் சார்.
ஓகே
நீங்க உங்க வீடியோ இருக்கும் சார் அப்பயும்.
ஓகே ஓகே. So I want to talk about my profile after my retirement in the year 2008. I was with ROM Safety Consultants for about 4 years, 1 year training, and then I was took my responsibility in the year 2009. So to say, I handled about 70 project reports in general safety audit, risk analysis, and mechanical safety audit, and then fire safety audit. So I then in the meantime, 2015 August, somewhere in July, Mr. Ramodarai sir, who was a mentor of my curriculum as a consultant, he passed away in the year 2015. So I moved away from safety consultant, and then I have started my own safety consultancy with AK Sri Kantan, who was a retired manager from Davanagari Cotton Mills. He was instrumental, and when we went to Coimbatore, we had a vision to start some industry. So we started our safety consultancy. For the last 5 years, we are moving on from scrap level to, we have gone to dizzy heights to the international level. We are going to deliver a lecture I am going to deliver a lecture as a panel judge in the year now January 2021 for DuPont Chemicals virtually. So I am coming to the subject. So this is in the meantime, the safety is very much important in the world today, so to speak. But whereas safety is not much confined to India, so to say, because of the negligence of the government and people, they don't care what is safety. Safety is related to every man in the world, but we don't care about what is safety. So with the NS Associates, along with ROM Safety, CROM Safety Consultants, we are going to create awareness among people, technocrats, ordinary people, about safeties. So what is safety? Safety is a relative freedom, free from disease, fire, and floods, and also by other means or accident. What is fire? So if you have a house, suppose electrical circuit, short circuit went wrong. Suppose it catches fire. So you have to be alert. So safety is a must. You must have safety. How to do things when electrical fire happens. It's also in apartments. You must have safety must be established in a big factory also. So safety is an important item. Then comes to floods. Floods. Suppose if now the monsoon is in the offing, but nobody cares what is happening around. When the monsoon comes and they cry over the spilt milk. Oh, we have to do this and that. But Madras is the same 1967 Madras. There is no water drains. Nothing is coming forward. Government is talking about so many things. Nothing is being done. The same old story repeats as what we had in 2015. The same old story. People are suffering, but nobody cares. The people, the ministers, they're simply seeping it for flush houses, and they talk about a lot of things. So if flood means you have to be alert. Stormwater drain should be perfect, and the river bunds should be perfectly erected, and you must have anything. If you have flooding in the reservoirs, you must put check dams then and there before coming off the monsoon. Then you should not let out the water to the sea. What we are doing, if there is excess level comes, they let it out to the sea. There is no question of, then the water problem comes. These are the extraordinary situation we are facing today. What we do, because we can't help it. Everywhere, the same from central government of India to state government, they are doing the same thing. In Bombay or Delhi or Calcutta, in Chennai. The problem is predominant. We cannot help it. So then comes to floods, diseases. In monsoonish weather, you'll have a lot of diseases. So before oncoming season, you have to take alert steps to prevent the disease, dengue, fever, cholera, etc. But we don't do it. Government is methodically approaching. So these are the problems we are facing today. So safety is a relative freedom, free from floods, fire, and diseases, or by accident. What is accident? It is inherently, knowingly or unknowingly happens. Suppose you go on the road, you don't know what happens. Immediately, suppose you cross the road, you'll get stuck up in the off. You have to see the light. Whether you have to cross the yellow line, you have to see both sides. If you don't see, you get caught. So that accident, if in a factory, if an incident happens, that should not be lead to accident. Accident should be prevented in the nip and butt, so to say. So I am coming to, so safety has been explained to some extent. I cannot explain because the time is very short, within 1.5 hours. So I have to explain so many things and then come to risk. What is risk? Without risk, we cannot do anything. Safety and risk are brothers and sisters. Risk means specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability and consequence of vulnerability. What is complex of probability? Probability you may not know. Suppose you are driving in a highway. They cannot say in Europe or European countries. Suppose you go in the highway, the quadrilateral triangle done by Vajpayee, then you are having good roads. Suppose you are going, a man crosses the way. What will you do? You don't know. Where you are steering the wheel. You have to swerve to the right or left. You don't know. In the wheelie, what you will do? You get caught. If you are having safety belt, you escape from the wrath. Otherwise, you get injured or you meet with instantaneous death. So this is what is happening around. Suppose that is the rest is the specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability. Probably you may not know the man crisscrosses the way. If a cycle man comes, so many things comes. When I was going around some 10 years back, I had the same experience. Some fellow crisscrossed the way. Immediately he met with an accident. Our car met him, immediately died. So that is the problem. Even is like in India, this is a very common. That is in Tamil Nadu. A lot of accidents happen because of crisscrossing the highway. So because of that, what is risk? Risk assessment is there. There are two things I can say. That is fault tree analysis and even tree analysis. Fault tree analysis is what that an incident happens should not lead to accident. So the fuselage of aeroplane goes in the air, suddenly gets caught because of the leak. They have to get down and straight to the airport. You will have accident. Immediately catches fire because of the fuselage leak. That should be avoided. That is called fault tree analysis. That is incident lead to accident. Then comes, I'm telling you about fault tree, event tree analysis. Event tree analysis means that all incidents combined together put into one incident, then can be solved. That is called event tree analysis. Fault tree analysis, event tree analysis that combines the latest program is called Bowtie diagram that is being developed in Australia and in United States. That will lead to so many things. So then I will talk about what are the processes or analysis about FMEA and LOPA and then Bowtie diagram, consequences analysis, and so on and so forth. And then hazard. These are all processes or analysis, risk assessment in day-to-day life. Then comes for process industries. Then I come to what is hazard. Hazard means which can be anything or change. So you have got physical hazard and chemical hazard. What is physical hazard? Suppose your two cars met with an accident. So a lot of problem comes. If you meet an accident, a lot of fire will take place. If you are beaten with an accident, two cars because of the diesel or petrol. So immediately physical hazard is taking place. A lot of fumes and fire and taking place. We should avoid that. Physical hazard is also a dangerous thing in day-to-day life. Then comes to chemical hazard. Chemical hazard, a lot of poisonous gases emanating from chimneys and so on and so forth. Because of that, a lot of diseases. People migrate to the nearest factories. Then they cry over the wool, cry over the spilt milk. They cry, oh, I got so much poisonous gas is coming to our house, and they get diseases and so on. But that is not the case. The government should ban the migration of people near the factory. Then comes environment. Environment is free from pollution and free air. This is what is environment. Environment is not in place in India. Everywhere is pollution. Pollution in Delhi, particularly, people are suffering because of stubble smoke coming from Haryana and other places. So we should live without pollution. Then we can be free from good atmosphere. People live happily. Then comes, and I wanted to talk about five ways of safety. One is personal safety, and then behavioral safety, and then business safety, and then industrial safety, and then environmental safety. So first I will talk about personal safety. What is personal safety? Suppose a man goes on the road, he meets the four junction in between. The four junction in between, he has to cross the road, the yellow line. He has to see the green light. Then only he can cross the yellow line. Suppose in the meantime, suppose he wanted to cross immediately without seeing anything. If we have yellow light is there, if he crisscrosses, he gets an injury because of the crisscrossing of vehicles. He gets injured. So the personal safety is an important thing. When you cross the road, suppose you walk on the pathway, you have to see you have to look at the behind, down. We see any small stone, or even if a small stone trips you and getting injured, you falls down, then getting injured. So it is unnatural thing. So you have to be very careful. Personal safety. Suppose in 1 year ago, there was a child was playing near the borewell, near the open borewell. Nobody noticed because of the parents' negligence. They were seeing the TV, watching the serial. They don't know what has happened. The child fallen into the borewell, fallen into the trap. That is borewell 40 meters down and died instantaneously. They tried, fire safety department tried for about 30 hours. They could not retrieve then only they could retrieve the body because of the negligence of the parents. What is the last 5 years have been noticing from 30 children died of the negligence of the parent. Upbringing of children is most important thing in day-to-day life. Some comes to business, then comes to behavioral safety. Suppose a man joins in a company. He must be honest, integrity. He must have integrity, honesty, and skillful, and to do any job. Suppose he doesn't possess that, what will he do? He'll be out of the company. He will out of the group, and he will be having mental stress. Why he's having that? Because nobody knows. Then the company has to come for his help and getting rectified his mental stress. Why? How it has happened? How things were going beyond his limit to get him cured from the obscurity and allow him to continue his normal senses and do his job. So the behavioral based safety, if the behavior is good personally, then only we can avoid accident also. So that is the biggest thing. The establishment has to see that every employee should be checked for his mental behavior and his health affidavit. Then comes business. Business safety. What is business? Suppose a man with an engineering degree, with an MBA, is sort joining a company. With a plus salary. He has to look after his job well. After some 5 years, he gets frustrated because of his organization. So he wanted to start a small business. Then, before starting the business, he has to see merits and demerits of the business. Then she should sustain for 5 years with sustained money. So he can start his business. If he allows to continue for his business for 5 years, then he can do his business well on. Job can be taken on forever. Then comes the industrial safety. Industrial safety is the most important thing. In day-to-day life in Gujarat, during the lockdown, a lot of mishappenings are taking place. People don't care about what is happening around. Safety is not there. They don't care about standard of procedure, mechanical integrity, and so on. What has happened in the year May 2020? LG, Visakhapatnam, steering gas passed away. People got, because of the mishandling of the situation of the factory. After the lockdown, they should have started with SOP, standard of procedure, everything, mechanical integrity, lot of things they should have followed, but they have not followed. All of a sudden, gas leak started. Then I will come to that question, last case study. So then comes industrial gases, industrial safety. In every establishment, they should appoint a safety officer for protecting the employees using, they have to be educated for personal protective equipment. They have to, any employee who is, whether maybe CEO or chowkidar, they must wear helmets, goggles, helmet, and then hand gloves, everything. Then safety shoes before entering the factory. Personal protective equipment is a must everywhere. They have to inculcate, the establishment has to inculcate to wear PPE for the employees. Then comes environmental safety. Environmental safety is very, very bad in India. So to say, we cannot, it is happening around in Delhi. The pollution is so bad. So the lot of gases come emanating from chimneys. Industrial gases have to be checked by the Pollution Control Board for zero tolerance. That is not being done in India. People give money. What has happened? I have visited Sterlite factory in the year 2012 and certified that from Rom Safety I went there. There was no pollution because of the politics, gimmicks that has happened. The same old government allowed them to start. The same people now they are crying about pollution. There was no pollution at all. The gases coming out chimney is very negligible. I have seen them. I stayed there for about 10 days and certified about the fire and safety audit and also general safety audit. There was nothing. Everything was clear. You can certify them. They can be allowed to start. It is only a politics playing vital part. Because of that, the copper would not be manufactured in India. We had to import 50% and locally 50% and importing that copper segment 50%. So it is all botched. Nowadays, there was a newspaper item in the Hindu some 1 year back. Coastal zone are getting eroded. In another 10 to 20 to 30 years, you will have Madras is going to be submerged because now the sea is above Madras, above land level. In another 10 meters, 10 feet is above in Madras. In another 30, 40 years, India, the coastal zone will be completely immersed. So you have to take a lot of steps to eradicate this, but nobody cares. A lot of mongerings of it is people are getting excited about in United States and so on, so many countries. But people are not aware of such things. They talk about only how to make money. That is the only politicians' mind. So then I am coming to the point of how birth of OSHA. OSHA means occupational. Without OSHA, we cannot live nowadays. OSHA is an important item. So in the year 1910, how the OSHA was born. In the year 1910, in the first industrial revolution taken place. After then the First World War started in the year 1914 to 1919. Lot of accident happened. 40 machines installed, but nobody knows because of the World War. People died due to lot of poisonous gases and faulty machines. Then came the second industrial revolution in 1925. Then came the Second World War between 1939 to 1945. Germany allowed all things to happen to that side. So 40 machines, people died due to lot of gases, poisonous gases, due to faulty machines. It was not at all reported to the public. Then it is being allowed. Then lot of things have happened. Everywhere after the World War II. So people were started the thinking about UN, and so many guidelines framed for their own states. Then the area of Air Clean Act amendment came in the year 1970. It was developed by American Air Control Department, that is administration about the Clean Air Department, Food and Control. So many things, so many department they have followed, and they have started that Air Clean Amendment in 1970. Afterwards, then came the most industrial accident in the year 1984, Bhopal incident, and then came 3 Mile Island disaster. Then came the Texas compressor leak, and then come Phillips Petroleum Company. I want to tell you 2 incidents which led to OSHA in 1994. In India, the pesticide was manufactured by the Union Carbide. They were allowed to start their own manufacturing unit in two places. One at Jammu and another at Bhopal. So formally before 1980, they were actually, the MIC liquid was transferred from Jammu to the place where Union Carbide, its main factory at Bhopal. MIC was being transferred through tankers to the site where pesticide was manufactured. Then the idea came for the Union Carbide people. They have started their own units at Bhopal. So during starting the plant, a lot of accidents happened. One, a chemical engineer died of past gene with 30% burns. 27 people went into a vessel to check the 27 died instantaneously. That was not reported at all. Bhopal incidents, that is, every year they were having a lot of accidents. That was not reported at all. Then and there, some skirmish places will take place, skirmish incidents. And then the year 1984, there were 3 tanks, vessel 609, 610, 611. On 3 tanks, they had MIC was stored to manufacture. They are all atmospheric storage tanks. Atmospheric storage is working under atmospheric pressure. That is 1.25 kg atmospheric. Kilogram per square centimeter, 1.25 kg per kilo square centimeter. So in 2 tanks, they were emptied. They emptied it. for manufacture of pesticides. One tank was, they could not, they were having 40 tons inside. The problem was, it is an atmospheric storage tank. When you keep MIC, it is a poisonous gas. As per the SOP, you should give nitrogen blanket to the top of the liquid, and then also not to allow any moisture to enter on the fateful day. But I read from the British magazine Chemical Engineering, it is an act of sabotage, but we don't know. But as far as I am concerned, I don't know anything. I studied from the British Chemical Engineering magazine. It was a sabotage. A worker was suspended from the service. So you have fire hydrant throughout the factory, any chemical factory or any industry for the matter, they will have fire hydrant lying, and you will have a pump. Fire hydrant pumps will run to any fire catch happens, any untoward incident happens, immediately you have to tackle the problem. So what it was done on the fateful day on December 4th, this happened in 4th, on 3rd, so that they could not take out the liquid from the MIC, storage tank. So what happened? That worker or anybody, with knowingly or unknowingly, he put a hose and allowed to put inside a drain pipe in the water to the drain. Drain is closed, but so to say, but main wall of the hydrant, fire hydrant nozzle was open. What had happened? The people were sleeping during the night of 4th. People were sleeping. Supervisor. One name is one. I don't want to know him because there's a clash will come into Muslim population. I cannot say that. His name is some person. Supervisor and operators are sleeping on the fateful day. On the fateful day, they were sleeping. So at 12:30 p.m. in the morning, 12:30 p.m. in the morning. So suddenly there was a thud. One worker got the sound. He went there and saw that. Then the supervisor and people around, they said, nothing will happen, we'll see at 2:30. So what has happened? The atmospheric water entered through the tank, because the tank was also leaking. The water seeped into the tank slowly. It was under -2 degrees centigrade. It started boiling off to 30 degrees centigrade. At around 2:30, gas started boiling off, went through the PRC continuously for about 2 hours. People started crying, scratching their eyes, and so instantaneously, nobody cared. The management doesn't even, that siren which was wailing, it was stopped. Then if you wanted to flare the gas, you don't have flare system. Everything was under maintenance. The pitiable situation they faced, and people died due to that. So then we know that William Alexander immediately on the night of 5th, he immediately how he was allowed to flown to US. Then we got some $460 million from the company as compensation. Still, we are fighting by the government at the international court Hague for compensation. people are still suffering because of the unfortunate incident. The PRC was also not serviced, and nitrogen packet was not given, and so many carelessness of the management and also the concerned operator and the supervisor. So it has happened. The people still are suffering because of that. Then I come to this. I have not explained fully. I have just partially I have told because I don't have time. I have to go to the main subject. Then another thing, Texas fertilizer company, in which that ammonia compressor was standby. One compressor was leaking, rotor was leaking. So they have put it as a standby. What they have done, another two compressors are running. What they could have done? They should have done it. They should have allowed the compressor to depressurize it. They should have done it, depressurize the system and keep it idle. Then they can take, at any time they can take up the job. They have not done it. It is a carelessness of the part of the management. So-called, we say American people are very highly strict about safety, but they could not do it because of the carelessness of the management. So all of a sudden, the compressor gave away, and resulting 50 people, 500 people died. How to say that? So pitiable. Safety is an important item. You cannot neglect it. So this is the two case study. I will come to case study afterwards. This is the main two examples I gave you. Then, so because of that, people got irritated internationally. They got hired about the incidents internationally and nationally. So they have found an opinion. They wanted to start an organization called Occupational Health Safety Administration. So in 1990, they formed a group. Then a lot of hearings and questions were asked how they can do it. In 1992, December 2nd, OSHA was formed in Washington, D.C. And they formed 14 elements. It's called process safety management system, under which 14 elements there. So I want to explain there are 5 elements two elements I wanted to impart: standard of procedures, SOP, mechanical integrity, hot permit, processes or analysis, and then contractors control, and then safety audit every 5 years. So I want to take 2 subjects only: management of change and then process analysis. Management of change. Suppose I do have the same problem, and I was in the factory in 2002, I think. So we were pumping ammonia liquid to the storage tank, atmosphere storage tank. All of a sudden, the main level is 32.95 meters. Suddenly, the pressure switch become defective. So we have to stop the liquid. We could not get any alternative. So we have to install a new item. Before installing, old instrument taken place from somewhere, from the gutters, then they have placed it. But still, we could not do anything. We could not pump the liquid. So we had to start for another 2 days to pump the liquid to the level of 32.95 meters. Then that management obtained. Then process engineer, mechanical people, and GM, and so on, and process people, they conducted a meeting to install new instrument. And then we got it from France. They after a week, then they have allowed the ship to move on, because we cannot pump liquid more than 22.92 meters. To allow the ship to go, then we have installed a new instrument that's called management of change. Before changing anything, you have to analyze everything. That is called management of change. You have to analyze whether we can put old things into the that pressure switch, or we can renew another one. Or if we don't get the same thing, we have to get the permission from the higher authorities to fix. That is called management of change. Process hazard analysis. Process hazard analysis, you have lot of hazards. If it is a physical hazard, chemical hazard. In a chemical battery, you'll have chemical hazard. You have to do risk assessment, fault tree analysis, event tree analysis, and failure mode effect analysis, hazard, process hazard operability study, and hazard identification. These are the things you have to do. Then standard of procedure, you have to make, when you start anything, you must have standard of operation procedure. This is what we have to do. The birth of OSHA was born. Now it is compulsorily enacted as a law in the US, acted as a law in the US, and then it is also recently India has passed a law as OSHA is compulsory in the parliament. Without OSHA, nothing is feasible. So you have to use OSHA. OSHA is a must. So I am coming to though the introduction to safety and how OSHA was born. I have come to the level. Now we have going into the deep subject. What is accident? What is prevention? Behavioral based study, going beyond risk management and control strategy. What is an accident? The preventive measures helps to reduce the accident to some extent. Even if an accident happened, there is every possibility to reduce the damage. Accident is an unexpected event which causes risk, injury, loss of life, loss of property, or damage to the property. The preventive steps have to be taken then and there. Above the stated causes such as minimize the cost of treatment, compensation, and protection, and to some extent to the organization. Accident prevention. Prevention is better than cure. The subject which I have given the subject. It is a word and popular proverb, which means it is better to stop bad things happen than to fix them and to that have already happened. Accidents are preventable. That can be done at any time. Accident can be prevented. But steps must be taken before it happens. It is a legal obligation of the organization to comply with the laws, standard practices, safety observation to avoid emergencies and accidents. What is happening? Accident can happen at any time. We don't know. Now I am coming to the one point where I should have died in the year 1974. I was working as an operating staff in second shift, I think. So we are taken the gas. We wanted to stabilize the unit. We are taking gas and steam, process gas. We wanted to stabilize the unit. That is, catalyst is Fe2O3. That is ferrous oxide. We want to reduction it and then reduce it. Reduction and then, so otherwise catalysis will form. Catalysis and then hysteresis. Reverse. If you want to do it pakka, then catalytic formation will take place. Fe2O3. Otherwise, hysteresis will come. Fe2O3. That will become Fe3O4 or Fe2O3. The resulting hysteresis. So what has happened? So I was going to the heater. So we want to bypass the heater. Suddenly, when I came to the panel, suddenly got burst flames. We had to shut down the entire unit for 6 days. So I escaped from the accident. Then I was in fertilizer unit. So I wanted to depressurize the sulfuric acid system. So before taking up any job, that is go to the saturator. We are manufacturing ammonium phosphate plant. I was an operating staff there, 1986, I think. I don't know, somewhere near. I wanted to depressurize the system. The running pump has to be. You have to close every valve from downstream to upstream. Suddenly, sulfuric acid fallen on me. I don't know how. Everything I have done it, but from saturator, from the pipe, sulfuric acid pipe, started on me. I was in bed for about a month. So the accident should be prevented at any cost. Another leading factor of accident is unsafe working conditions. We had in the year 1986, we don't have anything. Unsafe working condition of the plant because we are going from 140 tons to 1,000 tons about monoammonium phosphate. From 140 tons, then how much improvements we could have made. So that's the thing. Another leading factor is unsafe work can include faulty machines, faulty designs, and substandard process and fire hazard by which the accident will continue to happen. Preventive measures ought to be taken. Accident prevention can be achieved by commitment and cooperation between the organization and the management. To achieve the goal, it is advisable to conduct safety programs on and off. Safety and accountability. Prevention requires the following action: hazard identification by risk assessment, removal of unsafe work by research and development, removal of unsafe machines, tools, improvement of working condition and environment. So everybody wants to reduce accidents and improve safety performance. Is concerned with human behavior. So what I told was, human behavior is a behavioral study. Based safety is an important thing. Man, a person who works in a factory, he must be honesty, integrity, skillful, and about his job, he must know everything. He should not while in a factory, he should concentrate on his job, not on his family things. Suppose he come out of the family, from the house, he should disavoid things and come to the factory with a clean mind, has to work. So everybody wants to reduce accidents and improve the performance, is concerned with human behavior and accident, what it's all about. And everybody is concerned with reducing injuries and the work associated with risk and illness. Behavioral safety is the appreciation of behavioral research on human performance to the problem of safety in the workplace. How does behavioral safety work? Behavioral safety is the service of the human behavior change. Applied behavior analysis is the application service of the behavior real world problems such as safety performance. As we are functional or systematic relations between environmental changes such as space or stimuli, environmental change or stimuli or cues that relate to behavior. The behavior itself, such as specific areas of work performance. The consequence of behavior is whether it is positive or negative response that immediately after a person performs a particular task. These relationships between negative, anybody should not have negative mind. When you go for the work, you must be positive. You always positive thinking. If any person who does the job, he must have positive thinking. That will demerit his performance. That is challenged in the court of law. These applied behavior analysis is the lesson learned trained in the laboratory. Researchers the challenges of human behavior, the safety in everyday life. To do this safety performance, inside the basic steps, behaviorally specify the desirable performance. If we want to improve safety practices in a certain workplace, we must specify as behaviorally possible these practices. For example, concerned lift operation, lifting behavior, or we may specify the out that are reached if safe practices are performed. For example, a shop floor result is measuring human performance in the workplace, and human performance is studied. Measure the safety performance. Using the criteria of safety workplace performance, we periodically sample and measure safety performance against this criteria. Suppose if you want to do any performance of the particular individual, you have to analyze him then and there. You must be allowed to go attend lot of workshops on human-based performance classes under a doctor or any safety specialist. If you can log his performance then and there every week. For every person, right from the general manager to the chowkidar, you have to do that. Concurrent situation of practical things to be followed. Concurrency is the word he has been used in safety. Concurrent. You have to do it then and there. You have to do the work at the same time. You have to inculcate about safety performance to avoid. Behavior-based safety is an important item in day-to-day life. Even if a person living with his wife and children, behavior is the most important item. We should be honest, integrity, and behavior is a must. Then again, do things. He can be positive. If he has negative mind, he cannot do work. That's the thing. So these measurements recorded and become part of the database, a cumulative log of performance for each workplace. Shape each performance through feedback, other consequences of craft. So you have to analyze things, certain things. You got to every person's ability. You should do it person clockwise, and you have to log them and show to the person. Shape each performance through feedback and other consequences of the graph of the performance of work teams or departments in building the same performance over time. In another form of feedback, suppose they do well, suppose a person do well, he can be accommodated, he can be given incentives, he can be given promotion and to do better job. If behaviorally do things better than others. So as the teams, departments improve the high level of work, safety work, practices in the workplace, calibration often help further acknowledging, reinforcing performance. Why all the indirect behavioral safety? What is meant by that? The application of behavioral safety to the solution of human problems in building and demonstrating the first and foremost reliable technology behavior in human history. So what is that application of behavioral safety? Behavioral safety is an important item. Then and there, wherever we go, suppose we want to purchase a shoe, we have to analyze things. We must have behavior, conduct, character, behavior. So these are all important items in day-to-day life, in a factory, in an organization, in personal life, so many things. So behavioral-based safety I have already explained. Behavioral-based is an important item in application in a factory, or in organization or in a departmental store. Everything, wherever you go, behavioral-based safety is an important item. The other field of psychology, so the behavioral services that has been successful to do this. No other field of psychology, human behavior science, is an important psychology to do things. In workplace with trouble, there are some rates of performance, behavioral program behaviorally properly implemented, produce significantly the safe performance and major reduction in workplace injuries and illness. So we have to analyze things accordingly, to place the person in retrospective position. How if he does the job excellently, he can be placed A category. So suppose he with the minimal work, or if a person with a minimal knowledge, he can be put into category B, C, so on. So we should place according to the performance of the individual. We have to place them according to behavioral safety. The behavioral safety is an important item for everybody. It's not an alone. It's not an ordinary item we see. Behavior is an important item everywhere, even if it is a 70-year-old man, or it's a 15-year-old boy, or 40-year-old middle-aged man. Behavior is an important item everywhere, in a house, or in a factory, or an establishment. Human suffering and financial loss are sharply reduced. So if you place behavioral safety is there, you can human suffering and financial cost reduced. Moreover, the cost of producing gains and performance area good investment and paying for themselves many times over control measures in order to reduce risk and prevent harm. So if you place safety things in tandem, you can do it. You can cut cost the production prices, and you can be able to bring the production rate to the highest level if you have place, if the safety is in place. Even if any leak or anything happens in the pipeline, you can shut off the plant and do remedial measures can be taken at then and there. Prevention is better than cure. You can do it, and safety is important. So if you have safety in place, you can do what else in life. You can produce without any hustle and bustle. You can run the factory without any interruption. So I am coming to this point in this block. 5 best risk assessment control and which you should apply them. Example. A successful risk assessment must check existing and what should be done. Stop. I just say stop. The key is a word. Stop. Everywhere, if you want to stop your car, you have to stop. Like that. If you want to do any job, you have to stop it when there is leak or anything. Safety should be in place. Then you have to stop it if you don't have safety. The key is how exactly control the risk, as it is an assessment. Once you have specified hazard and calculate the risk, you need to get risk. A successful risk assessment must check the existing controls and access and assess it should be done to prevent them. Risk assessment is a must. If there is a risk, you have to do risk assessment. But then and there, these control measures, and they are one of the important parts of your risk assessment. What control the measures in risk assessment? Control measures of things or you put in place to reduce risk and to prevent them. Control measures or removal. Removal of old things. Suppose in a factory, suppose lot of garbage in around, lot of old pipes and so many things. That should be removed. Rules. You have to form a rule. rules should be there. You should frame how safety is an important item, how to control them, how the risk is happened. You have to control everything. Rule should be framed in an organization. That according to that, you have to. Then procedures, you must have procedure. What is the how if a vessel has to be depressurized, what are the SOP, standard operating procedure? How to do things, depressurize things you have to do. These are all procedure. Equipment should be mechanical integrity should be done for every equipment once in 3 years. Exclusion. If the vessel is in bad shape, you have to exclude them. Some exclusion. Training should be given for everybody every 6 months, even if it's a contractor or a worker or a supervisor or a management staff. They should be given proper training operating the plant. Supervision. Supervision is not an easy joke. I come from the ranks. I rose from the rank. I retired as senior executive. It is not an easy thing to start a plant. So I know I worked with hands. I started in my operation in GP2, gas purification 1, then moved on to GP2 and then oil gasification. I was working as a supervisor there. Then I went to fertilizer after some voluntary PR has taken place. I was with ammonium phosphate plant. Then I went to utilities. Later on, I became a senior executive during the last era of my curriculum employment. Then I learned a lot of things. I should be given for safety to learn my safety things. The credit should be given to Mr. Bhavani Prasad, who was my section head at that time. So I learned from him. He was instrumental to come to this line. Now what I'm doing today. Without his knowledge then, and one Mr. Keshavan, and then Kannan, V. Kannan. These are the people who helped me a lot to come up in my life. So to say, I should thank them, particularly Mr. Bhavani Prasad. Supervision. Supervision should be must. Limitation. You have to limit yourself with everybody. Prevention. You should prevent a leak. You should prevent a pipeline burst. Prevention is better than cure. If you have behavioral-based safety, prevention can be done because of his knowledge how to do things. Method, how to make safety in place. Arrangement have to be done. So what is the control over risk assessment? This means to eliminate the risk completely. You cannot eliminate the risk completely. You cannot, it's not possible. Of course, this is the best control measures. You can remove the risk completely. We know the best control is you can just this control for every risk and be business in the world. For everything, there is a word, risk. It is a business risk, personal risk, or industrial risk, anything risk. I have told you about what is risk. Risk is a specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability and consequence of vulnerability. Probably we don't know what will happen. Next day what will happen. But today we know what has happened. But we don't know. Probably we don't know. So there is a difference between so that you can have it. There is in event tree analysis and fault tree analysis. When you analyze things, there is natural numbers and complex numbers. So complex numbers are 0, 1, and 3. Ordinary numbers, natural numbers are 0 to 10. So between these, if you calculate, you will get symmetric or asymmetric loss. Will get in safety. That is happened. If you go to fault tree analysis and event tree, that's natural numbers. That is complex numbers and zero numbers. Analogous series. If you calculate that, you can analyze poultry analysis, inventory analysis in risk assessment. So we know that best control is we can push this with control for every risk. To eliminate risk in practice, this would mean you and your team sitting in a padded room away from tools or equipment or not getting one. You should not just suppose a person wanted to do a job. He's a supervisor. He does the job. Well, you know the in and outs of the plant, but he cannot sit idly. He can put for the operators to do the job well. He has to go. I have done it even in night shift. I have taken pains coming in the morning, depressure the unit. Then others were sleeping until 8:30 in the morning. I used to take a lot of responsibility, depressure the unit, and before 9 o'clock comes, the maintenance people come, I do the job. I have done during my last years. I've seen people. So this kind of situation we should avoid. The supervisor has to take the responsibility, or the in charge of the plant, they have to take responsibility how to do things. They should know the hands-on experience is a must. As Sriram sir has told me that day when I came and talked to him about I was there with him for about 1 hour. I talked to him. He said, I want a man with no knowledge of hands-on experience. Hands-on experience is the most one of the beautiful thing in day-to-day life. People who passed out from the college, they wanted to be managers immediately. How can it be? You know the work and the knowledge of the things, you cannot become a manager. Managers comes from the lower rank, they know what to do. So because I am in safety now, I do things now better. I am gone to international level. Because why? How? Because of my hard work. I never thought that I will become a safety consultant in the coming years. I do not know. I am 69 years of age, but I do not know when I will be the safety consultant. I have never thought of it. I retired. I wanted to do my job peacefully, going and preaching Ramayana and Mahabharata. But never that my inner consciousness never allowed me to do that. I wanted to create awareness, do the job. I am doing it. I am creating awareness among the people because the Indian people don't know about safety. What elimination is actually absent? Eliminating risks that are unnecessary. For example, working at height level. Risk that can be done at the ground level using extendable poles. Lowering equipment, then this risk can be. The extending poles, suppose you wanted to do a job on the about 3 meters, you must have ladder. Even without that, we can do the job. Some equipment can be made to rise to the lower level and do things. This risk can be eliminated. What elimination cannot be used? What work has to be carried out at height? There is getting ground. Then hierarchy of controls. That is simply the best of controls and should be considered for risk assessment. They are best engineering controls. So first is elimination, second is substitution, third is engineering controls, fourth is administrative controls, and personal problem cause and equipment. These are the 5 important things for controlling strategies of risk assessment. So I have come to the level. Slowly I am coming to the final stage of my speech. Best risk assessment control measures. Elimination. We have already discussed about it. This post entirely from this activity. Examples of elimination. Use extendable tools to eliminate work height. So you have to, suppose a job has to be taken at a height, you have the extendable poles. You have to do it. Otherwise, the person whose work is at the height, he'll fall. So you have to take safety measures for that. Materials delivered. Suppose the material has to be delivered, they can be cut to size, remove the use of links. Cordless equipment, get rid of trailing cables. Substitution. Substitution is the second best control you could use. Maybe the risk cannot be removed entirely, but could be reduced by replacing the material substance or process with less dangerous. Substitution. If any substance is hard or poisonous, or we can replace with substituting another substance that cannot be, that will not do harm to the people who are working nearby or elsewhere. Example, ladders with tower scaffolds, substituting chemicals with a safer alternative. Changing the level of vibrating. Suppose you have vibrating equipment. My right ear is only 60%. My left ear is 100%. Because of the noise of the sound of the compressors. For the last 10 years, I was in Amana Tamana. So because of the high sound, it is 500 kilowatt compressor. So 2 kilowatt compressors, one 175 kilowatts, one is 150, another is 500 kilowatt compressors. You see how much noise will come. Because of that, my ear got damaged. I underwent 2 major operations because of that. But I am able to survive because of one operation I went for 6 hours in the year 1992. And then came 2008. I had the same problem, cholesteatoma, because I could have died in 92 because of cholesteatoma. Cholesteatoma means that because of the fertilizer that went inside, that has peeped through the brain, and it was about to be hit the brain. Luckily, I went in time. I was got operated in the Chennai Kalipa Hospital in 1992 by Dr. I named but Sharat Kumar or something. Then the same problem old when I got retired in the year 2008. I was got operated by Ravi, Dr. Ravi, KKR, KK Ramlingam, Ravi Ramlingam. I was got operated. I escaped from the RAL. So if prevention is better than cure, it is an absolutely, you cannot prevent, but you can to some extent, for 80% you can avoid, because so many things happened in my life. Because I never cared for money. I worked. Even now I am doing a lot of things. I never cared for. Once you do, automatically God will come. Automatically everything will come up. Substitution is the second best control measure you could use. Maybe the risk cannot be removed entirely, but could be reduced by replacing the material substance or process with something less dangerous. Examples of ladders with tougher scaffolds, substituting chemicals with a safer alternative, changing level, vibrating equipment with newer equipment with less vibration exposure. So you can use these earplugs, so many things. So you can 30 decibels only, you can up to some extent 30 decibels only allowed. Beyond that, you have to use earplugs. Engineering controls, third on our list. These are usually temporary or permanent controls. Engineering controls should be collective, protecting workers or individuals. Priority measures should be given. Extracting machines to remove hazardous dust. Extracting machine should be provided then and there to remove dust fumes and air, enclosing dangerous items of machinery or moving parts. Installing guards, relays, and to hazard. Hazard is which can be of anything or change. So if I want to take subject hazard, process hazard analysis, there are so many things. Fault tree, event tree, consequence analysis, failure mode effect analysis, hazard identification, process operability studies, layer of protection analysis, OTI diagram, and qualitative and quantitative risk assessment, and so on and so forth. So risk assessment is a big subject. So I can take about 10 or 15 items are there. I have come to a risk assessment. I simply said 5 items only. If you want to tell about risk assessment, it will take a month to complete the subject. Extraction machine to remove hazardous dust or fuel from the air, enclosing dangerous items or machinery or moving part, installing guards or rights. So then comes the administrative controls. Why? This type of control is lower than that will be essential for everything. The administration hierarchy of control should be there. If a man is there, if a process man is there, he should be a good administrator, also as a good process man. He should control the workman. So example of this type of control is lower than it will be an essential part of your control measures, controlling strategies. These are rules and systems that carry out the work. What are they? Limiting use of vibrating equipment, below exposure and values, breaking work at height, and lifting operations in bad weather. Limiting use of vibrating below exposure, because if it is 30 decibel, you have to use it. Beyond that, you cannot use vibrating equipment beyond that 300 decibels. It is a code is there. Below that, beyond that, you cannot use. Breaking of work height, lifting, operating in bad weather. In bad weather, you cannot do anything. Enforcing a one-way traffic. If a job is being done, one-way traffic only allowed. Personal problem, clothes and equipment, PPE. Wearing of PPE, it is a must. Every day and night. Even if I go for work in the night shift, most of the people never wear chappals. They will wear only chappals. I was the only person, but not 2% we in our section we used to do wear chappal, wear shoes, goggles, and helmets always, 24 hours. Be the least ease of defense against hazard. So while should not give her first choice when controlling risk, it can have added protection for any running level of risk or should other controls fail. Example, use of ear defenders when using noisy equipment. Harness and air load where the risk and force cannot be eliminated completely. Hard hats, helmet should be placed always on the head. So collecting the risk of your risk assessment and control. You don't have to just place one control for each risk from the top 5. If the risk cannot be eliminated, you cannot remove the risk. You cannot remove the risk completely. If you have safety in place, this can be avoided. If you have risk, you cannot remove them ultimately. The best control is a combination of control. Safety control measures is there. If thought is placed in control, you can do wonders. Example, you must be able to replace the toxic chemical in one that is no longer still dangerous. You are right to implement section storage, fume extraction, administrative control, and PP. Remember, all the controls should be in place together in your risk assessment, communicated by your team, regulatory invented to place them effective. This is the control-based treating strategies of risk assessment. I want to now I have completed the program, but I want to do some case study. So it has happened in the year 19, how before OSHA was born. How? I have finished the subject, everything I have finished. Controlling strategies, everything I've come to the conclusion part. If you place safety measures, you can do wonders. If you risk assessment and controlling strategic cover, accident can be avoided. If you place safety is the foremost important item. It should be inculcated, imbibed for every person from day-to-day life to establishment. So I just want to do 2 case studies. How OSHA, because I have already explained about Bhopal, the latest thing. I just took to LG stearin gas leak at Visakhapatnam. So the LG plant was started by in the year 1970, 69 and 67 by Malaya Group, UB Group. Then it was taken over by TCM Group. It was 40 tons per day when they have started the unit. Stearin gas. Then LG Polymers of LG people, they have purchased in the year 1996, I think, remember. I don't know the exact year, maybe probably 1996. So when they have started the plant, they never asked for environmental clearance. Environmental clearance has not been asked for. So, but how pollution control board, only they have got the clearance from the state government. They have not asked for environmental clearance from the central government. How they were run till May 2011. How they have given, but as per the auditing, factory was not in shape. There were 3 tanks. Everything was in good shape. The old tank, which was caused leak, was not given external coolers. Refrigeration unit was not running to the level of giving. When you want to take out some substance that has to be cooled, then fed back to the system. Suppose you want to cool the ammonia, then you have to take out the gas from the top of the vessel. You have to compress it and put feedback. That could not be done due to the refrigeration problem. What has happened? So May 11th, that caused leak. They could not. External cooling was also not done. Steering was at 40 degrees centigrade. It rose to the height of 180 degrees centigrade. How? All of a sudden, slowly it has happened. So the outlet valve, which caused leak and killed about 11 people instantaneously. And subsequently 330 people injured in the mill. So SOP was not done properly. They should external cooling and DCS, because it's an old tank, caused leak, outlet valve. They have not, before doing any job, they standard operating procedures and proper processes or analysis, everything should. OSHA was not there. That happened. People died. So they are not now that they are not allowed to operate because of things steering boiled from 40 degrees centigrade to 180 degrees. That caused leak outlet. External cooling was also not there. Yeah, refrigeration problem. So on. Proper auditing was not done for the last 5-10 years as per Andhra based government official. Then they could not get environmental clearance. Without that, they have raised from 40 tons to 660 tons per day, LC polymers. Then polystyrene was removed from the tanks and sent to Korea after the incident. So this is what happening. How, when, where? These are the things happening in India only, not in other parts of the world. Then I'm telling you, this is one case study. Another case study, did this happen? Now the OSHA is enacted in the parliament. Compulsory. US Labor Minister is enacted a law. There it has been passed by the BJP government. Now I'm coming before OSHA. OSHA was born. Where Philip Petroleum leak. How did it happen? It killed about 1,000 people. Hot diesel was coming from the hot diesel was pumping from the plant to the storage tank via the controller. The night shift operator was sleeping. We thought was that only started leaking. What did he was? He informed the tunnel operator to put the controller on manual mode to open the controller fully. If suppose you wanted to operate a controller, what you have to do? First, you have to put the controller on bypass. It should be a globe ball. Then you have to close the downstream wall. Then you have to close the upstream wall and open the drain cock. What he did was he opened the two bypass, that is idle term. He didn't care about that, and then isolated the controller. So all of a sudden, the hot diesel was at the temperature of 50 degrees. Got burst, the light got burst. About 500 people died in the year 1983, I think, most probably. A lot of people come out at Ketan, 500 people hot diesel. So that is the second case study of the situation. I thank you all for all people and given me to get the webinar, to get the occasion to talk about the subject in this webinar. I thank Mr. Sriram sir and Srinath to give the cooperation they have given me. Thank you. Now we can ask questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was an excellent presentation. Can we take few questions if you allow me to have it?
You did. Is the presentation was viable?
Yes, sir.
You can, if you want anybody questions, they can ask me.
If anyone wants to have
Once
a
you have,
question,
I am
raise
ready.
your hands. There are a few questions which has already been typed in the Q&A section. Can I read it for you, sir?
Okay, no problem.
Yes. There's one question like, yes, I understand that engineering controls are the best in the hierarchy of controls. But as a safety officer, normally we have more control over administrative controls and PPEs, which are within our reach. So how would you rate the adopting the administrative control in place of engineering controls? As engineering controls,
Administration, they can pass the laws, they can pass the order. If it is a purchase ban, is an administrative control. They can pass the order. They cannot control the engineering people. Engineering, that is a different thing. Engineering should be, they should have control over the administrative control. So
Okay.
engineers are different. Administration only for engineering procuring equipment. They cannot have. But as per this, administrative controls is a part of team. That's all. Administration and engineering all part of team. That's all.
Yes, sir. The next question is like, what is the base to carry out a hazard study? When it has to be done?
Hazard study before commissioning and after commissioning, you have to do. What is hazard? Here there is hazard study, process, operability study. Before commissioning, what will be the consequence and sequence? And so you have to do consequences, sequence, existing, proposed. What we can do before commissioning, what will be the consequences? What will be the sequence? What will existing and proposal? And after commissioning, what will be the things? So there is a pro word in hazard study. No MLA pro. No flow, more flow. Part of, against, reverse, and reverse. No flow, more flow, as well as part of, reverse exists. So that is no MLA pro. This, if you adopt for volume, pressure, temperature, and if you analyze these things, no MLA pro. If you use this synonym, you can analyze the hazard. You have to break wise if in a pipeline, if your controller is there, if your liquid is possessed, you have to do before the controller, what will happen? What will be the consequence, sequence, proposed and existing? Then if the leak happens, what will you do? After the controller, what will happen? So these are, if you analyze certain things, that is process, assault, operability studies. Every node you have to take, every pipeline you have to analyze. You have to do with no MLA pro. You have to do breakwise. You have to do consequence, sequence, existing, proposed. Yeah, if you analyze these four things, you can do hazard. With a team of people coming from process, mechanical, general manager, and operators. If you use these people, you can do a hazard study.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Using legend.
I think that answers the question. I think we need a separate session on hazard study. I think
Okay, we can do it. That is a big thing, yeah. We have to analyze a lot of things before commissioning and after commissioning.
So there are a few questions on hazards actually. Can we move on to the next one, sir? Because it's already 7:30. What is the safety systems to be adopted for a sulfuric acid pipeline in the manufacturing sector?
It should be the anti-corrosive. The S3660 something is there. That you have to use it. Anti-corrosive pipeline. You have to use.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is, okay, I think the question is on a construction site. As a safety officer, how should I take a situation under control as construction site is having a number of unskilled laborers?
So unskilled, suppose a contractor is being appointed. First, he should know the site safety. Then we have to contact the management has to hire him, and then he should be taught all the nonsense of the site about the construction industry. Then the contractor has to tell the people, has to take classes for the unskilled workers and teach them. Then they can be employed in the site, in the site. So that will be good. Contractor should know the veracity of the problems. Then they can import things to the unskilled workers. Likewise. So both the management also will get good things, import the knowledge to the contractor as well as to the unskilled workers. They can adopt clauses and the safety will be in place.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, can you throw some light on the difference between qualitative and a quantitative risk assessment?
So I have already told you qualitative is risk assessment. Qualitative, before any risk, suppose you want to take up a job or anything, or if you want to do any risk, safety and risk are brothers and sisters. You have to take any job, you have to take with the risk only. You have
Yes.
to import. This is qualitative. If you do the job well, that is quantitative. Qualitative and quantitative is only a small difference that is not well defined. But you have to be careful. Safety is an important item. That's all.
Yes, sir. That's our last question for the day. I think Mr. Bhupesh Kumar Mandal wants to have a question directly to you. We are trying to connect him online.
One more question.
Mr. Bhupesh? Mr. Bhupesh, you can, you're online, you can ask your question directly to Mr. Narasimhan, sir. I think he's facing some technical issues in connecting online. If anyone else wish to have their direct questions to sir, they can just raise their hands. Mr. Okay, I think we have reached the end of the session.
Thank you.
I hope that there are few appreciations which has come from Mr. Bhupesh, Dr. V. Sriram, and others on the presentation.
So they can give. That's what I want to ask Mrs. Sriram sir about the way in which I have presented this session. I just want to know.
Dr. Sriram sir is connected. If I think Sriram sir, you can talk directly. You can talk directly to sir.
So you can tell because he's the main organizer. Then he is the organizer of the show. Yourself, sir, only.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir,
Hello, sir.
can you able to
Good
hear me,
evening.
sir? Sir, can you able to hear me, sir?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir. No, I could not.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good, very good presentation and done a very good awareness on this various safety aspects and OSHA standards and everything. And
Okay.
risk assessment, behavior safety. You made a full
Okay.
round of all safety subjects in a single
Okay, sir.
webinar. Thank
Okay.
you very much for your.
Sir, you can even next time we can start series. I will do it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, all participants. With this, we have come to the end of the session. On behalf of Safety Cluster, I thank you all for the participation, and the same session will be uploaded in our channel, Safety Cluster. If you want to if you still have any questions, you can write a mail to us, and it will be shared with Narasimhan sir.
Okay, sir. So tell me.
Thank you so much, sir, for being on this session, and it's like a complete book for us on the process safety management.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.